I've got this spider plant here that is generally been quite healthy. I've had it for a good few months now, about 8 months or so. It's given me lots of healthy growth, nice vibrant foliage, pretty much exactly what you want to see. There's also lots of these pups as well growing from the side, hanging down, which you can cut off and propagate, turn into brand new plants. I've done that, I've shown that on my channel. But recently, I've kind of noticed a bit of a change with the plants. Not growing as vigorously as it should, even though it's in a bright spot in my new home. And it is protected from direct sun rays as well, and it's getting some brown leaves. I'm watering it correctly, I'm giving it water conditioner to get rid of the chlorine in the water, but it's just starting to throw out a couple of brown leaves. There's one here, so there's one there. Could just be to do with age or something like that. There might be a couple more in here somewhere. I did see a couple more. Just smaller leaves at the base of the plant, like so. There's been a few of those and a couple of bigger yellow leaves as well. So I did a little bit of investigative work last night, looking at the kind of crown of the plant, the root ball, and I didn't like what I saw. There was something in there that I'm not too keen on, that is often found in the root balls of plants, particularly orchids. So you might just be able to see it just poking out of the soil at the crown of the plant, just at the base there. So we're going to get this plant out of the pot and we're going to have a closer look. So let's get it out. So it's a nice healthy root ball, as you can see. Nice plump roots, nice and beige or white. It's exactly what you want to see with a spider plant. But just in the middle of the root ball, just poking out, I think is a little plug, a little death plug is what people call it these days, but I think it's a little starter plug that the plant was started in. And that's not necessarily great for the health of the plant as it continues to grow. Because they're started in these little plugs to get them going, give them moisture, nutrients, they grow into that. But as they get bigger in our homes, they tend to outgrow it. And there's a potential for the plant to suffocate, which is not good. And also, depending on what the material is that they've used, because sometimes there might just be a little cage holding everything together, all the roots, just made out of plastic, in which case that's not really going to hold on to too much moisture. But sometimes they're made out of foam, plastic foam, which will hold on to moisture close to the roots, and that's not good for the plants. Potential risk of root rot, etc. But more often than not, particularly with orchids, they are made out of what I think is peat or some sort of dense soil, which is very dense. That's going to hold on to a lot of moisture. So they use those. They're good for transportation as well for the shop or the grower, because these plugs tend to hold on to a lot of moisture. They're not going to dry out during transportation. So that's one of the reasons they're used. But yeah, generally they're used as a starter for the plant. So as you can see here, the longer you leave these things in the plant, the harder it is to get out, basically, because the plant grows quite an extensive root system quite quickly. A plant tends to grow roots quicker than it will foliage. So I'm just having to break up the roots a little bit here, which is not ideal, but the plant should be fine, should bounce back. So I'm just trying to get to the middle of this plant to have a closer look at what this thing is, because I'm not sure what it's made out of. I'm just trying to loosen up all this soil. So you can start to see it poking out of the top here, hopefully. I don't know what material that is, but the roots are starting to grow, or they were growing through it. So it might be a bit tricky to get it out, as it always is. The older the plant is, the harder it is to get these plugs out. Okay, so you can start to see it now. Not sure what material this is. Looks like some sort of paper material. So I'm going to try and peel it off as best as I can without breaking the roots, because this is a bit of a tricky one because it looks like the roots have grown through it. As it was a starter, it's used this material to grow through the roots. It's obviously used to keep everything in place. So I might just go in with some scissors as well. So it's very compact at the crown of the plant. And I just want to free it up by getting rid of this material. So I'm not sure what that's made out of. Looks like some sort of paper. Okay, so I think I've got most of that material out. Not really sure what it is. Some sort of fibrous material holding the crown of the plant together, as it was a baby growing up. So I've tried to do it without destroying the roots too much, and I think I've done a fairly good job of that. It's quite compact right in the centre, so I was just trying to loosen that up to kind of free the roots up, basically. But the problem with snake plant is that they do grow quite thick, fibrous roots, as you can see. So getting this material off when it's quite compact in there is tricky. Okay, so all that's left to do now is to repot our guy. So I'm going to put it back into the same pot. So you just want to hold the plant up like so. I'm going to use Botanica's Universal Mix. You can get a link in the description to a 10% discount. And while I'm doing that, let me just tease you with something that I've got brewing in the background at the moment. All will be revealed in the next couple of weeks. Quite excited about it. I think you will be too. Can't really give too much away at the moment because I'm just putting the finishing touches to it. But do let me know what you think it is. It is to do with the channel. The kind of next step to this channel, something different. I'm dead excited about. It's all to do with the new move to this house. So like I say, there will be something launching in the next couple of weeks. I'll do some more teasers in the next couple of videos, and I'll do a little announcement when it's all ready to go. So I'm just trying to hold my plant in the centre of the pot like so, and I've got my little kiddie cup from IKEA that I use to repot. So I'm just filling around, trying to get the soil nice and evenly in. So you want to use a soil that is nice and airy. So this Botanica mix is a coconut core based mix, and it has bits of perlite in to make it nice and light. So the coconut core will hold on to moisture, and the perlite will add air to the mix so that the plant doesn't drown in water when you give it a drink, doesn't hold on to too much moisture, which starts problems with root rot, etc. So just finishing filling it up here. Just press it in to make sure it's all nice and snugly in. Give it a tap, that's what I like to do. Get rid of any air gaps in there. And there she is. So now all that's left to do is to give it a good drink. Even if I watered it today, I would still give it a drink, because you want the soil to settle around the roots. So you want to give it a thorough drink, like so. Make sure all areas of the root ball is nice and wet, and then that will get rid of any air gaps in the soil as well. in which case you might have to go in again with a little bit more soil. So I'm just using this cash pot just to catch the excess water. So you want to give it enough water so quite a lot of it drains out of the drainage holes, like so. So that's what you want to see, water coming out of the drainage holes. So hopefully she'll be much happier now that I've taken that material out of her root ball, and she can start growing on to be her best self. If you want to see a similar process I did to my orchids, it was a slightly different material. It was more of a peaty foam mix. So if you want to see the difference there, then check out the video here and I'll see you there.